Oh man, what a great way to start off. Hey everybody, Mr. Jantix here, coming at you with another episode of the Standout Media Podcast. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Rozoku.
Hey guys, how we doing?
I guess you're not Mr. Rozoku, but I mean,
It's whatever.
yeah. That's.
It's all groovy.
Oh man, sorry about my coughing. I ate about 30 seconds ago, and apparently I didn't swallow fully, so.
It happens.
All right. Well, I mean, how was your week? I know it's been a little bit hectic and we're a day early, but
It's been okay, just nothing but work.
yeah, same
Finding
here.
finding content for these nice people out here.
I mean, there's plenty of content right now
Yeah.
with all the Gamescom news and all that stuff. So
Yup.
you've been keeping up? You watched it or anything yesterday?
I haven't watched the actual event, but I've been watching the trailer for this dropped or this kind of thing happened. So I've been watching those.
Yeah, I have a full timeline of everything that happened during the opening night live.
Oh, nice.
So if you
wanna
want,
go ahead?
yeah, I'll just go line item by line item, as they say. So first thing first, I kind of opened up. It's a Jeff Keighley event, so obviously he's on stage. And the first thing they showed off was a little teaser trailer. And I, watching it, was like, I have no idea what this is. And then I thought it was Destiny for a minute. And then at the end, it's robot hand pulls out the Borderlands Psycho mask out of a flaming crater.
Borderlands 4.
And Borderlands 4 popped up 2025, they're saying.
Yeah.
It's the only.
Well, I mean, the movie did so well, so they have to.
What movie?
The Borderlands movie. It's coming
yeah,
to
no,
streaming
Borderlands 4.
next week, I think.
No, just Borderlands 4. There's no movie.
They already announced that the Borderlands movie is coming to streaming soon.
They've already.
I think it's next month. Yeah.
I think it lost like 100 million.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's $120 or 120 million budget. But yeah, Borderlands 4. I'm actually excited because I do enjoy the games a lot. Haven't beaten 3, but I've beaten all the other ones.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't like it, just because I didn't buy it until recently. And me and the wife were playing it, and we were trying to do it all in co-op, so it's just hard to find time to play together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that. The next up, it was more Call of Duty.
Yep. Black Ops 6.
They did a full playthrough, or not a full playthrough, but like
most. They did a full playthrough of the campaign.
I meant of a level. Of a level. They did a abbreviated playthrough of a level, but they showed off a lot. It was like 6 minutes, and honestly, it's got me a little bit like excited. It looked really good. I mean, it looks like more Call of Duty, but the campaign, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to not having to pay for it because it's coming to Game Pass Day 1.
It's the glory of Game Pass.
Yeah. And then I think we talked about it last week, but them decreasing the file size and making things more manageable, which that's a welcome change. I'm excited for that. Next up was the Goat Simulator remaster.
Oh, finally a remaster of a game that came out like 2 years ago.
It's actually been 10 years.
Has it really been 10 years since the first Goat Simulator?
2014.
Goat Simulator 2014?
Yep.
Oh, man.
10 years. Goat Simulator 3, not to be confused with Goat Simulator 2, which doesn't exist, came out last year or 2 years ago.
Because they jumped right over to 3, yeah.
Which, God bless them,
Yeah.
They're out there, they're doing things. Goat Simulator Remaster is going to include all the game's DLCs, along with new visuals and some quality of life tweaks. And it's also coming out this year. going back because I kind of just skipped over it. Borderlands 4 2025 coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series, but that's kind of all it showed. Excuse me. Call of Duty, they announced that the Call of Duty Fest is going to be in October. No, it's releasing in October, but there's going to be a Call of Duty Fest, I think September sometime, and then the beta's next week, and then yeah, Ghost Simulator. Next up, jumping over to Persona 3 Reload. It expansion pass episode something, whatever they called it.
Yeah.
But they're essentially adding Joker from Persona 5 to the Persona 3 Reload game. And it's going to be a boss fight of some sort.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know anything about that series, but apparently you're fighting against Joker. I don't know. Which, honestly, no clue. You got anything?
It's not my bag, so I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you.
Next up was a little fun trailer. They start off with a CGI version of Jack Keighley on the stage. And it was like him talking. And then all of a sudden, like the stage behind him fell down, and it was like a video game trailer. It turned into like he was like trying to escape the video game trailer type thing. So it was a fun little cheeky trailer.
That sounds fun.
And it was for King of Meat.
King of Meat.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't hear about this one.
It is similar to Fall Guys, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm
but
looking
it's
at it
more
now.
of a. It looks kind of like a Fall Guys, but you're fighting through dungeons. It's not like that was Battle Royale. This is like a dungeon crawler. 4-player co-op, cross-play, cross-progression, coming to PC and consoles. And it's made by Amazon Games. So Amazon doing things.
Yeah, Amazon Studios is finally putting something out. That's cool.
Yeah, so that one looked interesting. Are you looking up the trailer right now?
Yeah, I was watching it while you were.
Yeah. So they didn't really say too much. The trailer was a little bit long, a couple minutes, and I mean it was an announcement trailer, so they're not gonna go in depth on anything. But
Yeah.
it didn't look too bad if you're into like dungeon crawlers.
No, it looks interesting. Like a fun little
Reminding me,
4-player co-op game.
yeah, reminding me of Castle Crashers.
Oh yeah. I can see that.
I think it's gonna be similar to that. But moving on, the next thing was a gameplay trailer for a game called Lost Records Bloom and Rage. It is from the creators of Life is Strange, so Don't Nod Studios. And obviously, as is the style of their games, it looks heartwarming and cozy, and then towards the end they're like, "Oh
so
yeah,
it's not. Yeah,
it's not."
Yep.
Interesting how they're doing it. They're gonna have it as 2 different episodes. So February 18th is gonna be the first half of the game, and then
in the summer of 1995.
yeah, and then March 18th I think was the second half of the game. So
Set 27 years later.
yep, looks like it's about 4 girls that were part of like a band in like the 80s or 90s or something, like whatever you just said.
1995. Yeah.
95. That's right. And then
back when we were hip young teens.
Yeah, back when I was a toddler. And the trailer kind of showed like flashbacks of all that, and then it went to present day of 2 of the former bandmates meeting up, and the one being like, "This mysterious package showed up at my door, has our band name on it that nobody's talked about in 20 years. Like, what's going on?" type thing. And yeah. Looks interesting.
That looks interesting, yeah.
Yes, narrative game.
I was gonna say they always make, interesting things like this.
Yeah, I always liked their story. Life is Strange had a very interesting story.
Yeah. What
Uh,
was the other one that they did? Hold on, I gotta look it
Um,
up now.
I don't know
Um,
if that studio did it because there's two studios making games similar. Don't
they
nod.
did. Yeah. What? Captain Spirit and Vampire is what I'm thinking. So
Oh,
Vampire was a supposed to be a good game because it looks amazing, but it's much like their other games. It's all cutscene.
yep, which is pretty much what this is gonna be,
Yeah,
with some walking simulator stuff in there.
yeah.
Which,
And then the whole game, I think you can beat in like 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that.
yeah, I
But
don't hate it.
yeah, no, it's a okay game. Like I said, it looks amazing. It's just not. It's not Resident Evil or a story-driven action game. It's a story-driven story.
It's a narrative first game, not a gameplay first game.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on, the next thing they announced was Genshin Impact coming to Xbox. So it'll be
Oh, they
coming.
also. Oh no, that's not Genshin. That's another game. Never mind. I'm thinking
Oh,
about the Nikkei game.
oh yeah. But on Genshin, you can pre-order it now for $10. It's gonna be free to play, obviously, but there's like a pre-order bundle with whatever bundle stuff you get, and that's $10. It's coming November 20th to Xbox Series consoles, and yeah, then I think they announced like a new level or something, new expansion for it as well. For some reason, this article was only talking about it coming to Xbox, and I remember them talking about new stuff happening in that game, and then they immediately jumped to, I think it was Zenless Zone Zero had some stuff going on too,
Yep.
and then what's the other Miiverse game? The space one.
Oh, I do not play these games. I could not tell you.
I don't play them either,
I'm very sorry.
but there's a space one as well. All three of them are made by the same company, so they're all very
Yeah.
similar. And that one also was getting an update of some sort. So if you're into those all got updates. Sorry, I don't have that in front of me for some reason. Um, but after that, they went to Dune Awakening. So I don't know if you saw this.
Yes.
Are you into
I
Dune?
didn't read up into it, so I don't know about it, but I saw the gameplay reveal trailer.
Well, first off, are you a Dune person? Do you care about the movies and such?
The movies are pretty good.
Okay, I haven't watched the movies. Um, the only thing I know about Dune is a video game that came out in the year 2000 and the original Dune movie that came out, I think, in the 90s. But I haven't watched
Well,
the new
I'm gonna
new
blow your
two.
mind. It's a book series
Yeah, I
written by
knew that,
Frank
dude.
Herbert.
I knew that.
The first book's pretty okay, and then it gets crazy. By
Yeah,
the time you get to Children of Dune, yeah, no, they're
I've heard.
uh
But apparently, this is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm actually gonna look it up because I want to get this right. Um, yes, it's a survival MMO. So it's a
oh,
massively
interesting.
multiplayer online game with a living world, so you can create guilds and do all that stuff. Um, like you can create bases with your guild, and then you can have like your own little spot on the planet. You join factions, and yeah, it's all like the typical MMO stuff. And then another surprising thing is they announced it coming to PC, but it's also going to come to PS5 and Xbox Series as well.
That'd be nice. That'll
So
give us something to do at least.
yet
It
another
looks it looks
MMO.
interesting, but yeah, I don't, another like this like Arc, like Rust, like what is it, Escape Tarkarov or whatever, the
Escape from
Forest.
Tarkov. Oh, the forest.
Yeah. Well, all of those are all the same kind of
They all look the same.
MMO, big online in a desolate world, you know.
I mean, Escape from Tarkov is an extraction looter shooter, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Rust, yeah, it's gonna be similar. It's a survival game,
I was gonna say Rust is a survival horror, or not horror, but survival.
but it's not an MMO. It's just a survival
What's
game.
what was the other one? The one there wasn't there one with zombies?
There's
7
Forest,
days or
Sons of
something
the
like that?
Forest, 7 days. 7 days?
Is it 7 days? I think 7 days is
A movie?
multiplayer, but not online. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So the thing that's going to differentiate is that this is an MMO. So that's going to be a little bit different. So it's going to be an online world. So it's not
yeah.
just like a server. Um, and I think the guy who made the movies is in charge of the story of it. I
Oh,
think I remember
interesting.
reading that somewhere. Because they released a featurette. So I don't know if he's involved or if they're definitely basing it off the films, off the two new movies,
Right.
which
It
are based off
looks
the
like
books.
they.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So that is the thing that happened. Then next was a bunch of gameplay for Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh, fun. Monster Hunter is one of those series that I see people like get into and like it and play it, and I just haven't. I'm not into. I haven't done it yet. I could see myself getting too into that stuff.
Yeah, I never was a fan of it. Don't really care about it. Um, like I thought it was cool to watch, but I just never got into it myself. There's a ton of information out about that game right now because they keep releasing trailers for it. So even though it doesn't come out till 2025, but yeah, I don't. It wasn't a big interest of mine, so I actually kind of skipped through that a little bit because I
Right.
watched opening night live when I got home from work. So I did skip through it a little bit. Next up was a game from Netflix Games called Monument Valley 3. Um I've never heard of this series, but it's like
Same.
the trailers are like really trippy puzzle games, like asymmetric um
Yeah. It reminds me
weird.
of like Fez or Captain Toad or.
Yeah, super interesting. Apparently like the first two games are like cult classics. They came out like a long time ago. Um, this game's coming only to Netflix, so you have to have a Netflix subscription and then the app in order to play it. And then they announced at the end they did a little um, splash screen. The first two games are also going to come to Netflix games.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So interesting. The first two games are coming out, so it's going to be like September, October, and then December is the third one. So they're going to come out in order. Interesting. If you have
Oh,
Netflix,
it's like
check
a
that
fun
one out.
puzzle game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you have Netflix, it's included in that.
Yeah.
Next up, Civilization 7.
Oh yeah, it's got its gameplay trailer.
Yeah, I'm excited, but I'm not like super stoked. I enjoy Civilization games, but I'm not like the biggest fan of them.
Right.
But I am an enjoyer of them, I would say. Um, it looks super good, obviously. Uh, it's been 8 years since Civ 6, so that's interesting. Um, what else? The release dates was February. I think it was the 11th. And then they had a 20-minute gameplay deep dive later
Jeez.
on that night if you wanted to jump in. I mean, 20 minutes in a Civ game is like
No, it is
nothing.
nothing. But no, but it's just that. That's the problem. Is 20 minutes is nothing. It's it's enough time to. Well, I guess if you're doing it as a dev, you can just be like, okay, I have money, and we're gonna advance these people, and
Yeah, you can pick up
make
wherever you
you
want.
can make it interesting. Yeah.
I mean, you could definitely do that in Civ 6. I don't know if you can do that in Civ 5. But if I'm not mistaken, you can start in like whatever era you want.
Right.
So if you want to like start in the middle, so that way the games aren't as long, you can also change timers and stuff around to make the games quicker. It's still gonna take like 30 minutes minimum to do a game. Um, but yeah, for all you Civ fanatics, euphoric strategy games and all that, it looks really good, and comes out next year. Sorry, I keep pausing. I have like a phlegm in my throat, and it's
Ew,
not fun.
gross.
I keep having to stop to drink because I'm like, it's not helping. Next up was probably my favorite announcement of the night, which was the official announcement of the Rev 8 Dune Space Buggy for Starfield. Whatever you want to call it. It's called the Rev 8. And they they shadow dropped it. So it came out that night. So it's out now. Came out. The event was yesterday, so it came out last night. Um, didn't get a chance to try it out last night because I didn't have time after finishing up watching the event. But I mean, that's been a community requested feature since the game launched.
Yeah.
And then later on, they announced that the Shattered Space expansion is launching in 1 month on September 30th.
Oh, nice.
So I am super excited for that. I have a couple hundred hours into that game. I don't think I have a crazy amount. I think I'm like maybe 200.
Right.
But I greatly enjoy it, and I haven't played since they added in all the updates, even from earlier this year with the maps and all that. Um, re-downloaded it recently. Jumped in for maybe an hour a couple nights ago, and then just haven't had time. But I've been having the itch to dive back in, and I know next month with the expansion, I had the collector's edition, so like it's included in that, so I don't have to worry about buying it. So that's nice. But yeah, I'm super excited to play that.
I was super excited when they announced the new Dying Light game? Question mark.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
The Beast.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's like a story within
Yeah.
the universe, but it's not a
Yeah,
sequel.
but it's not. It's they did that before with oh they called it something stupid. Hold on, I gotta look it up. Dying Light. Give me the Wikipedia, please.
Nope, no Wikipedia allowed.
Apparently not. Come on, give me the answers. Give me the answers I crave. Four-player co-op, blah blah blah. Marketing release, blah blah blah. I only got a 3.5 out of 5. Wow. Uh, no, Dead Island is the only thing that's popping up whenever I look into this, and I know Dead Island did a whole thing with Dead Island Riptide and a couple other things, but not Dying Light. They did. That's gonna make me mad because they did something like this before, where it wasn't exactly a full sequel. The Following. That's what it's called. A standalone expansion called The Following.
Yeah, I would have never known.
And it got its own release on its own disc and everything, but it's just like it's an expansion that's not an expansion. You know what I mean? It's like just another story.
Interesting. Was it like a? I think they call those expandalones.
Yeah, it's a standalone that
It's a standalone expansion.
right.
Yeah, they call those expandalones like I think they call Miles Morales an expandalone as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Something where it's like takes the basis of the game, was could easily be an expansion, but they made it into its own game because it was a little bit too big to be an expansion type thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What was great about the following is that it added cars. Like it added vehicles that you could just mow over zombies with. And that was super
Oh
fun.
man, that's nice.
Yeah.
What else? What else? Next up was Marvel Rivals got a release date, so that's
Ooh,
coming
tell us about Marvel.
December 6th on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Pretty much Overwatch, but with Marvel characters.
Ah, fun.
Yeah, the gameplay trailer that I've seen,
Oh, I see. I'm looking at it now. I don't
not a big
particularly
fan.
like this art style. Yeah.
Yeah, the art style looked weird. It looked like the moves were really over the top, and then it was like just a shooter as well. So I was like, take it or leave it. People have been talking good about it, but it's not setting the world on fire, I don't think. I honestly
Yeah.
was like, eh. What else? Next up, Towerborn.
Indiana Jones. Oh,
Oh,
okay. Tower. No,
you're
no. Go ahead.
skipping
Talk
to
about Towerborn. That's fine.
the last thing on this show.
Well, I was also going to bring up Alien Rogue because that looks weird and interesting.
Okay, well, I'm trying to go in order here.
Oh, I didn't know there was a war. I told you I didn't watch it. I just watched the trailers.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Towerborn right now.
Okay, okay, fine. Tell me about Tower Ward.
Towerborn. It's I don't really know too much about it. This was apparently a gameplay trailer, but it didn't have much gameplay in it, so it was interesting. Um, it's a, I guess technically it's a side scroller. Like RPG game. It's super interesting. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's one of those I would say go watch the trailer on it. And
Looks
yeah,
like Octopath. If you ever
Octopath
played
Traveler.
Octopath Traveler, yeah.
Yeah, those are on Game Pass.
Oh well, yeah.
One and two, I think, are both on Game Pass.
But yeah, that's what that reminds me of. You get
Yeah,
together your little team and go on roguelike things.
yeah, I think it's similar. I don't know if it's roguelike or not, but yeah, it definitely looked interesting. And another interesting thing is they announced early access on Steam on September 10th, but the early access for Xbox isn't coming until early 2025. So it's a little bit weird that they didn't have early access on both at the same time.
Oh.
Um,
You figure the coding's got to be different for each one, and then they have to go through different processes for Xbox and for Steam.
yeah, but considering it's an Xbox first party, Xbox Game Studios game, and then, it just seems odd that they would stagger it. And then also early access only on Steam and not on the Xbox store on PC. Just a weird choice, but I mean, Steam's where you're gonna get all the, players most
Yeah,
likely on play or on PC. So I understand why they did it. I don't hate it. I actually don't really care because the PC app is. I don't want to say it's garbage because they've made it better, but it's leaves stuff to desire.
yeah.
Next up was a thing called Secret Level. Now, I don't know if you watched this or saw anything about this.
Secret level?
Yeah.
Is that just what it's called, or is
Yep.
it part of something bigger?
Nope. It's called Secret Level. It's an anthology TV series from the people who made Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, interesting.
And each episode is about a different video game. So there's one about Armored Core, one about Mega Man, one about Sifu, one about Spelunky, And then there's I think 8 or 10 levels,
Oh,
8 or 10.
I've got a whole list right here, baby. If you want to go over them.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we got Pac-Man, we got Warhammer 40K, a game called Concord, which I've never heard of,
Concord. Okay.
Mega Man,
Mega Man.
Unreal Tournament, New World Eternium, Armored Core, Spelunky, Honor of Kings, Sifu, which that one just came out not too long ago,
It's been out for a
Dungeons
few
and
years.
Dragons. Has it? No. Sifu?
I think Sifu was a 2020 game.
Hold on. Pause. I gotta look that up. 2021. So
Oh,
3 years. Damn.
that's
Still,
close.
we got Dungeons and Dragons, The Outer Worlds, Crossfire, Exodus, and one title just PlayStation, which will feature a number of PS games and characters.
Yeah, they showed Kratos in the trailer. So,
Oh, so that looks pretty cool.
yeah. Yeah, it looks
Keanu
really
Reeves is in
good.
it too.
Yep. And it's made by a like a company that specifically makes like video game trailers and stuff for a lot of big games. So, I think it's going to be really good. The guy got emotional on stage and it was really good. And it just looks really good. It's on Amazon Prime, so pretty much everybody has that Prime Video.
Yeah.
And December 10th, so not too far off.
No.
So I'm looking forward to that.
That's really good, yeah.
I've definitely become more of a TV person than an Xbox person, or just gaming in general these days. Just because
Right.
by the time I get home, I'm so tired. And then taking care of the kid and doing all that. By the time I actually sit down, I'm just like, I just want to not have to think. So I just put something on TV and just let it go.
Yeah.
But moving on, the next game was an indie game called Herdling, which is a game about herding animals from the developer who brought you Far Changing Tides and Far Lone Sails, which were very interesting story-driven games. The publisher is somebody who brought you Panic is the name of the publisher. I don't know why I blanked right there, but they
We're the
brought
guys who made Untitled Goose Game and Firewatch into our
Yep.
lives.
And Thank Goodness You're Here was another one.
Oh yeah, thank goodness You're Here is a great game. If you haven't played that one yet, that's
Yeah, so that's the publisher. So this
this
game
looks nothing like anything.
Nope. It doesn't look bad, but it's definitely like a cozy indie game vibe to it, looks like. Definitely interesting. Keep an eye on that one. Comes out PC and consoles next year. But yeah. You have anything else to say, or should I move on?
No, keep going. It looks interesting. Like I'm gonna play it because I'm a fan of this developer or publisher.
Yeah, and the Far games,
I've
I've watched those on YouTube, and they're really good.
Yeah. Okay, next up.
Next up was the Batman VR game. They showed a gameplay of it.
Oh
It was
God.
a full-on gameplay trailer. I mean, yeah, exactly. But I mean, being Batman is kind of cool,
No, that's.
But also,
We need
like,
different VR games. Like every time there's a VR, there's you got to be Batman. For the PlayStation, the second that came out, they were like, oh, Arkham Asylum VR,
was that a
and
thing?
it was terrible. Yeah, it's bad.
Never heard of that.
There was the problem with the PlayStation VR was that they didn't put out any games for it. Or the games that they came out with weren't
Your
good enough.
favorite
It seemed like
collectibles
a second
are now
idea kind of thing.
collectible cups.
So like,
Hold on,
there's a
hold on.
brand new
Collectible
Star
at
Wars game
McDonald's.
coming out, and it's gonna have the ability to let you play in VR. And the ability to play in VR is you sat in the cockpit of an X-wing, not flying the X-wing around. You just sat in the cockpit.
Oh,
There's
weird.
all kinds of buttons and switches you could flip that did nothing.
Which game was that? Sorry, I had a weird thing start playing. One of my tabs started playing a
No,
video.
you're good. It was one of the Star Wars games, one of the Battlefront games.
Okay, because there
for
is Star
PS4,
Wars.
I think.
Oh, what was this? Star Wars Squadrons. You was a VR game that you actually got to
Yeah,
fly around.
Squadrons we actually got to fly around and do all the stuff in. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but the Batman game, it looked pretty good. Only on MetaQuest 3. So sorry, all you Apple Vision Pro people. I guess you're not gonna get this one. It's a joke for all those people who spent $3,500 on a headset that has nothing.
Yeah.
um, the trailer looked really cool. Like, it was a pretty long gameplay trailer too. So I mean, if nothing else, the game looks cool, and it's from the people who made the Iron Man VR game, which people seem to like. So, I mean, it has promise. But next up on the list was a Squid game, as they call it.
Squid Game.
Yeah, Squid Game Unleashed, which is also another Netflix game coming exclusively to Netflix, I believe. And I believe it's going to come. Did they have an announcement date? So the second season of Squid Game is coming December 26th. But I think the game they said coming later this year. I don't think they said an actual date. It looks almost like Fall Guys mixed with Squid Games. Almost. It honestly doesn't look that good. Like, I think there's better Roblox Squid Game games out there.
Right.
So yeah. Do you have anything to say, or can I just skip right over that one?
No, you could keep going, my man.
And then next they had Peter Molyneux come out, who is like the guy who created Fable and a bunch of other stuff. I'm totally blanking on everything that he made, but he came out to pretty much say that he's coming back to making games because he hasn't made one in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's called Masters of Albion, in which, gosh, let me click on this because this doesn't say anything. They're calling it a God Sim, I think.
It's a civilization game. it's a world building style game. It's a base builder, but on a larger scale.
Yes and no.
That's what it looks like to me. I'm just going off of what I'm looking at.
You have like one or two hands. I don't remember from the trailer, but essentially you get to control things from the sky. So you get to like pick up people and move them around. You get to like build buildings, and then you get to assign people jobs and stuff. But at any moment, you can also go into third person mode and control a character. So you can go and do stuff like that. At day, it's a city builder, and then at night, the creatures come alive. So if you played a Fable game, it's like that. This is not a Fable game because he doesn't own the rights to that. And when asked how he got away with using Albion and not getting sued, he said, well, you can't copyright the Albion, so I have free right to use this world to make games in or something. And people were kind of taken aback, but hey, more power to him, I guess. I don't know who owns the rights. I think Xbox does, and honestly, of all the big names in video games, I think they'd be the least likely to sue him for it.
Oh, of course. Because Fable, the games that he was producing were so big for Microsoft at the time.
I just meant him illegally using the name and likeness of a thing that he doesn't own the right to.
Right.
Which I guess it's not illegal. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But it's an interesting debacle that's going to go on there. The game looked interesting. If it comes to Game Pass, I'll definitely try it out. Otherwise, I don't think I'm going to buy it. And then now we get to go to your Indiana Jones.
Oh boy, Indiana Jones and the Circle of Kings?
The Great Circle.
It's called? The Great Circle. That's what it is.
Yeah, much better.
Yes.
It's a circle, and it's great. It's the greatest circle.
And it's coming to PlayStation as well as Xbox.
Yeah. So from what I was reading online, people online were talking about like they made it seem like they showed PlayStation stuff throughout the whole trailer. Watching the trailer, all the button prompts are Xbox controller button prompts in the game or in the gameplay of the show, and like everything there is all Xbox. And then at the very end, they like after the trailer done, after they show the release date for Xbox and PC, they like Jeff Keighley's like, oh, I think there's one more thing, and then like it flips over and says coming to PS5 next year. So people were like freaking out, and I mean I get it because first party Xbox exclusive game coming not day and date, but within like a 6 month period to PlayStation is definitely an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Um, I don't get all the hate that Xbox gets for going third party. Um, like I can get it from a business sense of people worried about maybe it dropping console user players from people buying less consoles. But from what Microsoft has revealed of the data, there there are more Xbox players right now than ever in the history of Xbox. So it's not like they've been losing players over the last couple years or anything. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah. The next consoles are gonna be interesting
Yeah.
to see what the next like wave of consoles bring. If
Um,
it's really gonna be the Switch 2 and the PS6.
I mean, Switch 2 is all but guaranteed for next year.
Yeah, I get that, but that's not really a
Next
next
gen.
gen. Yeah,
PS4,
it
Xbox
is. I was
360
gonna say
level.
it is next gen as far as Switch is concerned, or Nintendo, I suppose. But
Yeah.
whatever the next actual set of consoles is gonna be
High
something
end console,
interesting.
as PlayStation refers to it.
Oh, is that what they? Yeah.
Yeah, during the court case, PlayStation said that it was a high end console market or something. Um, I don't know, it'd be interesting. I am pretty much 100% certain that the next console from Xbox is going to be handheld along with a next gen
Really?
console. From everything that I've been hearing from like rumors from different game journalists and stuff, it seems unless plans change because it's still a couple years out, and obviously if they prototype it and they just can't figure it out, they're not above canceling it. I mean, look at the Xbox Cloud stick that they made and then
Oh
canceled,
yeah.
because that got canceled because they said they couldn't get the price where they wanted. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can definitely see that happening with the handheld, but from people who work there, they said that they definitely have handheld prototypes there. And Phil Spencer has made it known that, they're definitely looking into it in the hardware sense of making a handheld. So,
I would love for them to just go, it's our new console, and it's just a PC.
I mean, that's the rumor right now.
That would be so great.
Phil,
Just it's a console. Wink, 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 wink.
so
But
from
it's
what
just a PC.
so from what I heard from the one journalist I follow, he's saying that because Phil Spencer has come out and talked about how he's looking to sideload um, PC game stores onto the console. So like Steam, Epic Game Store, all that. Like how to get those to work on a console.
Yeah.
So he's talked about that, and then this guy said that he heard that the next. I mean, this is nothing confirmed, but essentially the licensing rights to all of Xbox games are for console and not for PC. So it would come out as a console that you could possibly sideload. So it'd be like an Xbox OS, but then you could possibly like sideload Linux or Windows or other things onto it. Um, which would be interesting. And I had another thought there, and it just totally floated away.
It happens.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, I could definitely see it having a dock so you could plug it into the TV. Um, I do think that it would be Xbox OS or something along those lines.
Right.
And I mean, not Xbox, Microsoft and Windows have been working towards a Xbox OS anyway for handhelds because of like the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck and Lenovo Legion Go. They've been doing a lot of updates on Windows and the Xbox app on Windows to make those handheld friendly and like do a bunch of stuff there. So I think in 2 years' time they could definitely make a new OS specifically for handhelds and have that
Oh
come out.
yeah. That's plenty of time to, especially with the extra learning that they have going on from the AIs right now.
Yeah.
That's plenty of time to do that kind of thing.
Also, the next Xbox console, 100% is going to have AI on it. Like, I'm just calling it
Oh
now.
yeah,
Like,
they yeah.
it's going to have, they call them NPUs, neural processing
NPU.
units. Yeah, it's
Jeez.
because it sits next to the CPU. So there's a CPU and an NPU on the chip. And the
Mm.
NPU does, so instead of having to query the cloud for anything AI related, the NPU enables that chip to do it on device. And 100% the next Xbox is going to have that, and they're going to integrate it into like Forge mode and like Forza create levels and all that stuff. So you can just AI prompt it to make stuff, and then you can go in and tweak it.
Hmm.
So I think if used as a tool, it could be cool, but obviously going too far, not good.
Yeah.
AI is it's a touchy subject,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
it's weird.
also I keep saying 2 years because that's when the rumor that the next Xbox console is going to release is 2026.
Interesting.
Obviously not confirmed. That's just a rumor mill. But it would make sense because PlayStation pretty much said they're doing 2028 for theirs. So Xbox trying not to compete with PlayStation, having their consoles come out 2 years early would at least help them make some console sales up. And if they do a handheld, that's actually like a proper handheld. Whereas PlayStation just has the Portal right now, which is streaming only, no on board
Right.
stuff. Interesting times we're going to be in the next few years for sure. Um, but yeah, Indiana Jones coming all consoles. That's pretty much how they closed it out. They had a little teaser for a game called Mafia: The Old Country.
Yes, I saw that.
Um,
I like the Mafia games. Those are a lot of fun.
I don't know if this is related to those games. I would I
I
would
like
assume
think it
so,
is.
but
Well, so in the actual Mafia games, each one is a different time and person. So it
oh
could be that this is all still part of the oh, excuse me, is also part of that
yeah,
same timeline, I guess.
yeah. It's gonna be 1900 Sicily. It's gonna uncover the origins of organized crime. So it's gonna be like the founding of the mafia, I guess.
Yeah,
So that'll
the
be
founding of
interesting.
the families.
That was kind of all for the opening night live show. They've done some other stuff. Gamescom is like a week long event, so there's been some other information that came out. Um, I mean, if you're interested in hardware of computer stuff, Asus is having a new high end Wi Fi 7 router
Oh man.
that I'm sure is going to cost thousands of dollars.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they announced three of them, which is insane because it just seems so expensive and so excessive.
Oh yeah,
What
I'm with
else?
you on that.
And then we talked a little bit about hardware, but the 3 consoles coming out later this year from Xbox, the revisions, the
It's a 2 terabyte Xbox
the
Series
Galaxy.
S, right? Yeah.
No, it's a Series X 2 terabyte with Galaxy skin, then a 1 terabyte diskless. Yeah, it's just a diskless Series S in white. Then a 1 terabyte version of the Series S in all white because the 1 terabyte's only all black right now.
Yeah.
And then the Galaxy Black whatever edition.
Special edition. Yeah.
Yeah. So pre-orders went live this morning, I think, for those, or last night. So they're live now. And they're going to start shipping October 15th. So, I mean, if you want to get a new console, or if you're looking for maybe more storage or a slightly cheaper Series X, the diskless version is $50 cheaper than the disc version.
Yeah, and they even make one a 512 gigabyte solid state drive model now, which is pretty nice.
I don't for Series
for $299 for Series S.
Well, yeah, that's the base
That's
model.
the all digital one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the original, the base one that came out with the Series
X. But it didn't have a 512. It had a it had
was a
a
512.
500. I thought.
No, it's 512.
It was 12. Oh,
there's
damn.
no such thing as a 500 gig. Come on now.
Hey, man, I don't.
It's all based on 64-bit or whatever, 8-bit.
Yeah.
It's a pain on 8-bit stuff.
But yeah, no, 2 terabyte. That controller looks nice too. The Galaxy controller.
So the Galaxy is a 1 terabyte. No, it is a 2 terabyte. I'm stupid.
It's 2 terabytes. Yeah.
It's 2 terabyte, but it also is $600, so it's an extra $100.
Yeah.
Because $50 for the extra 1 terabyte and then $50 for the special edition, I'm guessing, and however you want to word it or justify it.
Probably.
I think the 1 terabyte Series S is $350. I think those are $350. It's the same price as the black one.
1 terabyte Series S. Yeah, is $350, and then it's $100 more for the digital Series X.
Yeah. So those are both 1 terabyte. So $100 more for the extra power that comes with the Series X. But if you're looking for something cheaper, the Series S works like a charm. We have the 512 one, and it works just fine.
I have the 1 terabyte Series X. I have a 4 terabyte expansion drive plugged into it. So.
A USB
or external
one?
hard drive. Yeah, it's not one of theirs.
See, I have one of theirs. I bought I think it was a 1 terabyte version of one of theirs.
I might do. They have a 2 terabyte one now that I might do.
Yeah, they have 2 brands now as well, and they go on sale. I would not buy them at full price because they're way overpriced. But they go on sale during like Black Friday for like half off and stuff. So that's when I got mine, was last year.
Nice.
It's really nice because it just works as part of your hard drive, so you don't have to like transfer anything or do anything.
That's what I have to do now with this. I think I just have a Seagate 4 terabyte one that you have to choose whether or not it goes into the external hard drive or the internal hard drive.
So you do have to do that a little bit with the new one. But you can play Series X enhanced games on straight off the hard drive. Whereas I know
that's cool.
With the USB drives, you can't.
Yeah.
You can only play Xbox One games off the hard drive.
Yeah.
Or you have to transfer them between the two. But with this one, it works just like an internal. I mean, it's 2 partitions. So when you go in there, you can choose which partition. But it works really well. It's been nice to have. I have Call of Duty on one and everything else on the other, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, those are coming October 15th for the new ones. What else? We talked about indie. Sorry, not indie. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh yeah, the numbers for EA Sports College Football 25 came out. In 1 month, it became the best-selling game this year.
Dang.
Yep. So in the month of June, it took the place of the best-selling game per of the entire year per Sakana. So yeah, college football is back, everybody. Yeah, if you're into college football, apparently this game's good. Oh yeah, Diablo 4. They announced some things there. Don't know why it wasn't in my Gamescom preview, but it got a new little trailer. And you're going to be able to hire somebody to help you in the game, a mercenary, as they're calling them. So there's a little guild you can walk up. You can hire like a demon, a barbarian ish, and then there's I forgot what the other two classes are. But essentially, you can hire somebody to go with you, so you're never alone on your missions.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't care for it. It seems like an interesting choice, but we'll see how it plays out. They each have their own skill trees as well that you can, I guess, work up and do stuff. But they also announced, or I think the release date was already announced. That was October 8th for Vessel of Hatred, the first expansion. And then they announced the Dark Citadel, which is a new endgame PvE activity, which is essentially, it seems like a tower climbing thing, where you go and you clear a level and you climb a tower or something of sorts. So it seemed like. I could be way off on that, but yeah. So some new stuff coming to Diablo. I've been playing a little bit again. It's gonna be fun. We got a packed fall with everything coming out this year. Let's see. Oh, and then after Gamescom, Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond went and did an interview, which they're going to be doing stuff throughout the whole week. And this is where he was talking about how they have more Xbox console players than ever. So not, Xbox players or cloud players or PC, like specifically Xbox console players. So that's cool. Let's see. I'm reading through this article just to see. PC went into detail about I say he went into detail. He did corporate speak for why they're releasing games on PS5. Wasn't anything earth shattering, just more of we're trying to bring games everywhere type stuff. Yeah, I mean, they already had 4 games come over a few months ago. Was it last year? No, that was this year, right? Yeah, that was this year. Sea of Thieves crossed 1 million players on PS5 alone, which is cool.
I saw that. That's neat.
Yeah.
They've been updating and making that game something really cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those games that people kind of tried to make us think about coming to PlayStation, but honestly, 1 million players coming just on PlayStation alone, along with all the other players already playing, that just helps the game get more updates and get more cash so they can do more things that they want to do.
Right.
So they're pretty much, Xbox is kind of doubling down and saying we had these 4 games come out, we're still experimenting, but so far they haven't noticed a decrease in console, and if anything they're actually seeing an increase in console. So it's going to be interesting to see if the perceived damage to the brand is actually damage or if it's just people online. Um, it's gonna be super interesting. Um, Also, like PlayStation releasing games on PC, and I mean during the Summer Game Fest this year, something that was really funny was the Lego Horizon game. Do you remember that being announced?
Yeah. Yeah, the Lego. Yeah.
So, Horizon being a first party PlayStation game, that was not at the PlayStation State of Play, but it showed up at the Nintendo Direct. So, Xbox first party or PlayStation first party game going and being shown exclusively at Nintendo's Direct showcase and not a the PlayStation one. So, I think in general, we're going to see more and more of this happening. I think Xbox is just going to be the first one. Everybody's going to, you know, get angry and direct all their hatred towards Xbox, and then PlayStation's just going to follow suit a few years later and just, not get the hatred and get to reap all the money from it. So super interesting. I know there's a couple articles of that interview if anybody wants to go and read them. I reading through the one on Windows Central. They have a really long one going over everything that he said. You have anything else? I have one last thing, but if you have anything,
No, I got nothing else, man.
so the last thing I have is, the game Halo, right? Halo 3, all that stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, the developers actually made xenomorphs in Halo 3.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to read through. They were trying to figure out a way to do a crossover. So Eric, I'm gonna butcher his last name. Ario, Arroryo. He was the lead 2D/3D character and vehicle artist for Halo 1, 2, and 3. He recently came out and showed off on his ArtStation a bunch of stuff that he made back when he was working on Halo 3 for a Alien crossover. It doesn't look like it was an official thing. It looks like he kind of just modeled them, but he did like full on 3D character models in Halo 3. So that's on his ArtStation. He did a warrior/drone from the movie Aliens. He created it for use with the Halo 3 engine in hopes of prototyping a Halo meets Aliens encounter. The model had 3,700 polygons in total, which in comparison, Master Chief's model had 5,000.
Jeez.
It had a bump matte texture that was hand-drawn in Photoshop, and it took him 10 days to build the prototype. He didn't specify if there's actually ever a crossover planned or if this was just a personal project. But yeah, there's here, I'll send it to you because it's definitely a little interesting. But yeah, like full on made xenomorphs in Halo 3 directly, like officially from a Bungie lead artist. I mean, obviously not official, but
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah. I mean, especially with like the flood going on. He on his ArtStation profile, he talks about a bunch of other stuff, and he gets into some technical details for people who are interested in all that juicy details. He is also the one who created the looks for Cortana, Master Chief, and the Warhog. So like this guy was, he's a legit artist for Halo, or was before, everything that happened.
Yeah.
He created the trench run. He implemented ideas like the gravity anchor slash elevator. He created the mongoose and the brute chopper. So this guy's
Neat.
done. I mean, I guess when you're like the lead 2D slash 3D character and vehicle designer, you're probably gonna have a hand in most of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool. I would say required reading for everybody listening is to go to this art station. Windows Central did a write up on it as well. So if you want a easier way to look up, because I don't know how easy ArtStation is to look up. But yeah, super interesting, super cool. And yeah, that's kind of all I had. I think there was other news, but honestly, I didn't really have time to look through everything. I'm just going to do a quick skim through. Oh, yeah, Microsoft released more adaptive accessibility joystick controller stuff.
Oh, that's good.
So, more accessibility. I know they had updates. I guess it's been a few months now. But, they're pushing for more accessibility, which is always good.
Right.
Samsung came out with a new Odyssey monitor that is a 3D monitor with no glasses, so it's 3D without the glasses.
Fancy.
Yeah. I'm just looking through, see if anything else kind of got announced that we might have missed. Went over all of this, it looks like. So yeah. That's pretty much all I had for today. Do you have anything before we say goodbye to our listeners?
I don't. Just remember to, like, comment, share, subscribe, smash that like button, do the things.
Yeah, all the things.
That's all.
Yeah, I'll be going on vacation starting tomorrow, which is why this was a day early. So I'm definitely going to try to get this podcast uploaded to all the sites, the podcast feeds, and all that good stuff before I leave tomorrow. I'll be back for next week though. So next week will be the normal time, Thursday at 7. But yeah, I mean, hope everybody enjoyed. And like he said, make sure to give everything, a like, a thumbs up, a 5-star rating, a review. And yeah, anything helps. We're still very small, so every like and comment definitely helps us get more out there. And if you have any feedback, let us know as well. The easiest place for us to see that is on the Discord, which I have linked in pretty much everywhere. So go check that out. We will be there. And yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. And we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.